Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss the next part of the chapter, our Constitution. Before this class, we have discussed about the basic features of our Constitution. The basic features are the unique Constitution, the lengthiest Constitution, written Constitution, a rigid and a flexible Constitution, and the procedures of amendment of Indian Constitution. In the previous class, we have discussed about what are the procedures, also adopted the Indian Constitution of the amendment of the Indian Constitution. The number one, the simple majority, then number two, by special majority, then number three, special majority and ratification. But today, we are discussing India is a sovereign, socialist, secular and democratic republic. India is a sovereign state because the country is free from all external controls. Internally, we are free to take our own decisions. Means we are free to take our internal decisions. No other country can dictate its policies or terms to us, and nobody can interfere in our internal affairs. For example, in previous year, in 2019, August 5, the Indian government abolished the Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir. But Pakistan, the neighboring country of our country, also raised the voice in the international forum. But no one country take any decision or speak against our country because that matter is our internal matter. For that cause, India is a sovereign state. The next thing, India is a socialist state because socialism is one of the national goal to be achieved. Thus, India is against the exploitation in all forms and will try to establish economic justice without being attached to any particular ideology. The next thing, India is a secular state. All religions enjoy equal freedom. Means in our country, all religions are getting the equal status. There is no official religion in our country, just like in Pakistan, Sri Lanka. In Pakistan, that is Islam is the official religion. In Sri Lanka, Buddhism is the official religion. But in our country, there is no official religion. There is no discrimination on the ground of a religion. Means each and every people of a different religion getting the equal status. There is no discrimination on the basis of a religion. Right to freedom of religion is granted by our Constitution under the fundamental right. Right to freedom of religion is one of the fundamental rights which also granted by our Constitution to each and every citizen. Means every person is practice, propagate his or her religion. There is no objection. There is no obstacle. No one can interfere your internal affair of your religion. For that cause, India is a secular state. India is a democratic state. Our government is elected by the people and the administration of the country is carried out by the elected representatives of the people. Our government is elected by the people, means the state government or the central government. The representative of the state government means MLA and the representative of the central government MP. They are elected directly by the people. The government is not run according to some basic rules. The state government or the central government, they follow the basic rules, and they govern the country by following the rules and regulations which are written in the Constitution. India is a republic. India is a republic because the head of the state, means president, is an elected head from amongst the people. Our president is an elected head, although we are not conducting the direct election for the president, but our president is also indirectly elected by the MPs and the MLAs. For that cause, a electoral college also formed. The MPs and the MLAs, they are the members of the electoral college and they also elect the president. It means our president is also elected, is an elected head. On the other hand, in spite of being a democracy, England is not a republic because its head of the state is hereditary, the king or queen. Then parliamentary form of government. We have a parliamentary form of government both at the center and the state. In fact, we have adopted this system on the British pattern. We have borrowed the parliamentary form of government from the British Parliament. In a parliamentary democracy, there is a close relationship between the legislature and the executive. You know very well the three organs of the government, that is legislature, executive and judiciary. Legislature and executive, they are closely interrelated. Without legislature, the executive cannot work, and without executive, the legislature cannot work. And in a parliamentary democracy, legislature means MP and MLA, they are the member of a legislature. Executive means the government officers, those who are appointed by the government for a long period. They work with a close relationship. The Council of Ministers is constituted from amongst the member of the legislature. The Council of Ministers in the state or the central government, they formed from the members, those are elected by the people. It holds the office as long as it continues to enjoy the confidence of the legislature. In a parliamentary form of government, the head of the state, the president, in case of India, is a nominal head. In the previous part, we have discussed about in the president is the nominal head of our country and he is elected indirectly. Although she or he enjoy many powers, the president also enjoy many powers, but in practice, all these powers are exercised by the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. Means all powers are exercised by the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. Means the President act according to the advice of a Council of Ministers and the Prime Minister. Then federal and unitary. The constitution of a federation is written and rigid, and it divides power between the center and the state. Our constitution is a written constitution, as well as a rigid constitution and a flexible constitution. And the power also divided between the different levels of government. The different levels of government means for the whole country, the central government, union government, for the state government, and for the local, there is local government. In this way, the power also divided between the levels of a government. And there is an independent judiciary. Judiciary is one of the organ of the government, and it is fully independent from the legislature and the executive. The legislature and executive, they have no power to interfere in the matter of a judiciary. But judiciary has the power to interfere in the matter of a legislature. Accordingly, India has a federal system but with a difference. the central government, which is also called the union government. For the whole country, the government is known as the central government, union government. It is so powerful that at times it appears that India is not really a federation, but a unitary state. Means the central government is more powerful than the state governments. For that cause, it seems that it is not a federation but a unitary state. The Constitution of India has several features of a federation combined with the elements of a unitary state. Some people describe India as a federation with a very strong central government. Then universal adult franchise. Universal adult franchise means in a country, each and every people after a certain age limit, they are entitled to cast the vote, whether any religion people, any language, any culture, any state, there is no discrimination. Universal adult franchise means that every citizen of India who is 18 years and above is entitled to vote in the election. In our country, a citizen who is 18 years or above is entitled to vote in the election without any discrimination on the basis of a caste, color, class, religion or gender. It is based on equality, means all people also getting the equal status, which is a basic principle of a democracy, meaning right to equality. The right enables all citizens to be involved in the governance of a country through their elected representatives. Means all people have the right to choose their representatives after the age of 18. Universal adult franchise, the right to vote was granted in 1950 to every citizen but of India above the age of 21 years. But the 61st Amendment in 1988 lowered the age from 21 to 18. Then single citizenship. In United States of America, there is a double citizenship. Means a person must be a citizen of the concerned state where he resides. Then after that, in the United States of America. But in our country, a person belongs to any state having the citizenship of our country, that is Indian citizen. Every American is a citizen of her or his state and also of the United States. But in India, we have a single citizenship. Therefore, every Indian, irrespective of the place where she or he lives, is a citizen of India. There is no citizenship in the name of the state. All the citizens of India can secure employment anywhere in the country. People who call themselves Punjabi, Marathi or Gujarati are called so because they speak these languages and not on the basis of their citizenship. Means in our country, any person belongs to any state, they may apply for the central government because they are the Indian citizen, not in the state citizen. And people of different states having different language, means Punjabi, Marathi and Gujarati are called because they speak this language. Then single integrated judicial system. India has a single integrated judicial system. You know that judiciary is one of the organ of the government. The power also divided between the different organs of the government, that is the legislature, executive and the judiciary. And the judiciary is one of the organ. And in our country, the single integrated judicial system, unlike the judicial system of the United States, we don't have a separate federal and state court. In our country, the entire judiciary is one hierarchy of a court. The Supreme Court of India and the High Court from a single integrated judicial structure. The Supreme Court of the India and the High Courts of the states and the lower courts, means the civil courts and the criminal courts in the district level, all are form a single integrated judicial structure with jurisdiction over all laws. The High Court have the right to supervision over the subordinate court. The High Courts have the power to supervise the lower court, means the subordinate courts. India has an independent judiciary. Judiciary is fully independent, free from the influence of the executive and the legislature. The judges are appointed on the basis of their qualification and experience, but they cannot be easily removed by the executive. Therefore, a set of a procedure is followed, about which you will read, to remove any judge of the High Court or Supreme Court. A set of a procedure, that is impeachment. By the impeachment, a judge of a Supreme Court or High Court may remove. That is very difficult also. And the impeachment policy also adopted to remove our president also. The fundamental rights, directive principles of a state policy and fundamental duties are also the basic feature of the Constitution. In previous part, we have discussed the fundamental rights also, the 6 fundamental rights, directive principles of a state policy and fundamental duties. They are the basic feature of the Constitution of India that prescribe the fundamental obligations of the state to its citizens and the duties of the citizen to the state. We shall be learning about these vital elements. Please, students, we have completed this chapter, and I feel you please see the PowerPoint presentation and also hear the audio, and it is easy for you to understand. Then after that, I will send the answers also in the PDF file. Thank you. Have a good day.